Okay, it's day 7 of the Burpee War. Hi, YouTube. It is our last day of grace, meaning all penalties go live starting today. You were joining me on my last few sets, I think 5 or 6 sets of 6. Every minute on the minute. My last set, a set of 10. Just trying to work a little overload on this. And yes, I felt terrible yesterday. They were an absolute misery, and unsurprisingly, or I don't know, in my emotional heart, somewhat surprisingly, but rationally at least, it was surprising today. I also felt like shit. My body just feels horrible. I got a good night's sleep. I got good food yesterday, sans shamrock shape, which did me no favors. And as you can see right there, I am suffering like just 6 burpees, and I felt absolutely miserable. My right ankle hurts. Every joint in my body is sore. My muscles are sore. This is not going well. um, and yeah, I honestly, straight up honestly, in week 1 today, I had the first feelings that I might quit. Not so much that I wasn't going to be able to do today, but the idea of doing 93 more days just like this seemed so impossible, so irrational, and so unlikely that I couldn't beat back the thoughts of just give up, just resign. Why put yourself through a thing you know you can't accomplish? Which leads me to my first pro tip. So here's my tip, and it's relatively simple. Don't quit in a chair. Quit on the floor. Quit in process. It's absolutely fine to quit. A number of you will not make it through this challenge, and that's completely okay. You might quit for a good reason, you might quit for a bad reason. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. But don't quit in a chair. Quit in process. So here's how I structure it. As you can see, I'm doing my burpees on an old beat up yoga mat. This is where I do my burpees every day. I use the mat as sort of an altar, as this sort of sacrosanct space that I occupy. I set the time aside, and it's just a time and space each day for burpees. I don't violate this. In 11 years of doing the burpee war, I have outright failed 3 of those years. And one of those years, the first year, I only got to 80 burpees. I won, but we didn't go all the way to 100. So really, in my mind, that counts as 4 years that I've failed. Like, I'm one of the founders, or the co-founder at least, of this game that we do every year. And I've failed 4 out of 11 times. I'm not going to do the percentage, but it's, between 60 and 70%. A 60 and 70% failure rate for the smuggest burpee guy you know is pretty bad, honestly. In 100 days, a lot can go wrong. One of those years, I got the flu. And it was untenable. I think we were in the 60s. It was absolutely untenable for me to do even 60 burpees. I barely could do 1. Like, something like that's gonna happen to you. A bad day, a truly bad day, is gonna find its way on your radar at some point in the next 100 days. So my suggestion is basic enough. It's this. Have a space that you do your burpees in, and don't deviate from it. Make it sacred. And if you have to quit, make sure that you do it in your space, in your allotted time. Don't quit on your couch. Don't quit in your bed. Don't quit in the shower. Don't quit on a tough day at work. Quit in your space. The battlefield, the place where you fight this war. There's no shame whatsoever in giving up on the field. but don't give up before you step foot on the field. This is somewhat off topic, but yesterday I was listening to Rabbi David Wolpe on the Lex Friedman podcast. And Lex always asks his guests, he asks them, like, what's the meaning of life? It's just a question that pops up each podcast, and it's pretty rote. And really, people are prepared for it. But David said something kind of unbelievably beautiful. He said, I'm trying to paraphrase. He said that the meaning of life is that we are to return our soul to God, brandished with more love than when it was given to us, to expand our soul, that it's a sort of life as a training ground for this. And here I am. I like that. But you're not going to expand your heart without breaking it. So get out there and break your heart. I love you guys.